Today, we are talking about pain, emotional pain. This is something, if we don't understand, then it holds us in an energy that makes it impossible for us to get onto the frequency of our desires. And that can be happening without us being aware of it. Most of our emotional pain is self-created. Our unobserved mind runs our life. It's like a toddler running amok. Our unobserved mind runs our life. And we end up creating emotional pain for ourselves because of that. So today I want to look at how do we create the pain? What does the pain look like? And how do we eat? The biggest way we create emotional pain is through non-acceptance of what is. It's always resistance. That's how we create pain. Remember, we've got this beautiful life in us that's just looking to be expressed and it wants to flow. Resistance to what is what causes pain. And the two ways that we do that, first through thinking. We think judgment. We think labeling. Something happens and we immediately label it, judge it, analyze it. And that is a form of resistance. That's a form of non-acceptance. We make it something rather than just saying, there it is, okay? And it's almost quite foreign to us. It's like, how do I just look at something and not label it and not bring up judgment about it? And it can sound like simple phrases like, oh, they shouldn't do that. Oh, they can't do that. I can't do that. That can't happen. There we go, just judging and analysing a situation. The other way we will see it, this resistance, is in our negative emotion. And something happens, just be really mindful of, oh, how do I feel? Is it negative or positive? And what am I thinking? Because mostly, if you don't judge it and just go, it is what it is, you won't have a negative feeling. But as soon as you label it and judge it, you will have that negative feeling. The interesting thing is the intensity of our pain indicates the degree of our resistance. So that's a good indicator for us. If I'm feeling extremely upset and pained, I know that I'm in a state of huge resistance to the present moment. How can we be free of suffering? And the way that we're free from suffering, two words: to honor and accept the now. To honor the now means to fulfill it, to fulfill the now. So in this moment, fulfill it. Bring your fullness of life to this moment. Remember what life is: expression, expansion. It's all good. So looking for the good in every moment is a good thing. Bring the fullness of life to the present moment. See it as a rare opportunity. Every single moment. Are you living in appreciation of the single moment that you're in? See it as a rare opportunity. We never will have this moment again. Our life is made up of moments upon moments. So see it as the rare opportunity it is, which does cause us to want to fulfill it. Every moment that you're given, treat it with great respect. That's one way that we free ourselves from pain. The other, we can accept it. Accepting it is as it is. It'll either control me or I will control it. That's the two choices. So accept it. And that means don't judge it. Don't have an opinion in the moment. Just first accept it. No labels, no judgment. And here's one that is very powerful and probably challenging. Accept it as if we'd chosen it ourselves. Accept it as if you've chosen it. That's hard. You know, I think back to some of the moments in my life and I think, but I wouldn't choose that. That's not what we're talking about here. We're saying it's here. Accept it as if you've chosen it. That changes your attitude towards it greatly. And what that does is, if I accept something as if I've chosen it, that causes me to work with it. To say, okay, I've got this. Now I'm going to work with it. And very importantly, accept it first, then act. Very important. Because if I accept it as something I've chosen and I'm seeing it as a privilege, I'm seeing it as a rare opportunity, I'm regarding it with great respect, then I act from that place. Very different action. I want to talk for a minute about pain that we've suffered as a child, because as a child, we don't have the capacity to process that. So we shove it down. And as a result, a negative energy field like it's its own entity living in you. You might smell something and it takes you back and it triggers that pain. It might be a word, it might be a look, it might be a conversation or a place. So many things can trigger it. So for me, I would feel an emotion rising in me. It would take me over, and it was anger. And I was such a flatlined person, not emotional. And this anger would rise in me, and I would feel like it took me. And I used to be conscious that I don't feel like I'm me. I don't feel like I'm in control here. But I didn't know how to stop it. I used to live really holding everything in, because I thought if anything gets out, who knows what could happen. How do we recognize our stuck pain? Noticing any signs of unhappiness in yourself. When you start to get an irritation or an impatience, even a somber mood for no reason. That was me. I used to be moody. Don't identify with it. And the way we do that is when we allow our thoughts to match the energy. When I felt that anger, I allowed my thoughts to go there. So if I think in line with it, I become it. We know that. We become what we think about. If I began thinking in line with my somber mood, oh, my life is dreadful, and oh, I haven't got this, and I'd start to think in line with it, then that pain, I've become it. It's in control of my thinking, of my feeling, and then, of course, my action. Quickly it happens. We feed it that by experiencing anything that creates further pain in us. We can imagine outcomes that we don't want. We can start believing things that aren't true. And unconsciously, when we do that, we become a victim, suffering more pain. Pain can only feed on pain. So that pain body in us, it can't stay alive if we sever what it's feeding on. When I was in the vibe of my pain, when I'd identified with it by thinking in line with it, I attract and I create situations that match it. And my goodness, I could write a book on that. Pain finds joy in indigestible. It's like, that is doing nothing for me, that joy. It can't survive on that. It's a diet that does not satisfy it. It can't feed on the joy. So that's a quick antidote to the pain. Go and find something that actually you feel joyful about. I think that's why I just loved nature, getting on the beach, getting out amongst that energy. And so how do we get rid of our stuck pain? I was so delighted to find out you do not have to live with it. The first and foremost thing that we do is to observe it. It's a do nothing sort of thing. We just have to observe it and say, I see you there. And that's why I say you might notice these things rising: dissatisfaction, irritation, impatience, anger, judgment on other people. Notice that's the pain starting to stir. It can be. So observe it and watch it. And what we're doing by doing that is we're bringing light. We're shining the light of our consciousness onto the darkness of our pain, and it becomes light. Okay? We can't obliterate the darkness, but we can bring light in, which will just move it on. The darkness can't exist in the light. Our light is our consciousness. Become conscious of it. This pain, like I said, it's like an entity of its own. So the first time you observe it, it won't stop. And this is what was really interesting over the years for me, as I became aware that, okay, I can actually beat this thing. I became conscious of it, but it didn't stop immediately. But what I'm loving, it's so weak now, and I recognize it so easily, and I can observe it, and that snaps the connection between my thought and the pain. Therefore, it can't feed on me anymore. So it gets weaker and weaker, and that's what I'm noticing. Like an infection in your body that keeps coming, and the healthier you get, the weaker the infection is. It can't thrive anymore. So know that it has a momentum. It won't stop dead in its tracks when you observe it, but if you continue to observe it and not feed it with your thinking, stay conscious, stay in charge of what you're thinking. So the trick is to observe it and feel the energy of it. Don't be afraid to feel the emotion. Nothing wrong with that. but do not begin to think thoughts aligned with that. That's the trick. So, for example, if anger is the vibe of the pain and I then choose to think angry thoughts, and it is a choice, so it might be, oh, that person did this to me, or, oh, I'm going to do that to them. Those angry thoughts, then I've become unconscious. I'm no longer thinking thoughts I choose. I'm thinking thoughts in line with the pain, and the pain has become me. It's taken over. Just like a dark mood, you might start feeling, I'm feeling a bit off. What am I doing with my thinking in that time? Do I start thinking how dreadful my life is and what I haven't got? If I do that, my thinking's become aligned with the pain and I've become unconscious. The real me, the true me has become unconscious, the pain in control, because I've allowed my thinking to go there. As soon as you observe it and you cut the tie between your thinking and the pain, it's like the pain actually becomes the fuel for your heightened consciousness. How cool is that? This pain, this energy becomes the fuel for your higher conscious awareness. So we transmute the energy into something that we can use for our benefit. So I've got a bit of a process you may want to jot down to practice. Focus your attention on the feeling inside you. Focus your attention on the feeling first and foremost, and then know that it's the stuck pain. Okay? If you don't do that, you can easily go down the thought trail. Oh, why am I feeling like this? Oh, it's because this is happening in my life, and blah, 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 off it goes. Accept that it's there. There's the acceptance. Don't try and resist it. Don't be afraid of it. That keeps it going. I've focused on the feeling. I know it's the stuck pain coming up, but I accept that it's there. And you can even say, oh, there you are. I've seen you for a while. Then be conscious to not think about it. Don't go into analyzing it. Don't turn that feeling into thinking or judgment. Stay very clear of thinking. Just stay in the, I see you. I know it's you. There you are. Okay, you've accepted it. Do not make an identity of yourself for yourself out of it. Stay present, observe it. And a real clarity of, be aware of the emotional pain. Okay, this is how that feels. I can see it, but also aware of me as the observer, so that I'm putting distance between the pain and me. So this whole process involves us remaining conscious of our thoughts. You stay in control of your thinking. Do not let your emotional pain drive your thinking. Disconnect from that. Because one, you're feeding it by doing that. And two, you're taking yourself down. The key to achieving all that we want, at receiving and expressing all that we want, we've got to be on the vibe of our outcome that we want. And we will never be on the vibe of the outcome we want while we are feeding and keeping alive a stuck emotional pain that is not on that frequency.